Good morning and welcome, and boy have I got a great recipe for us to make today. Today we're going to be making mango and saffron wine. This wine is fantastic. It's light, it's summerish, it's slightly acidic, which is so refreshing, and it comes from an Indian yogurt I tried a while back, and I thought, wow, that would be brilliant in a wine glass in liquid form. So I've tried to recreate it the best I can, taking this Indo-European yogurt and turn it into a wine glass full of divine, heavenly mango and saffrony flavoured delicacy and divineness. So join me as we get on with the recipe. For this recipe, we are going to be needing 2 ripe mangoes, lovely and ripe, squidgy, soft, but not too brown at all, not gone off, no, just lovely and ripe, at their juiciest, that's how I like your mangoes. And also 2 bananas that are past their prime. The browner, the blacker the banana, the riper they are, and that means they release more sugar and more flavour for your home brew and your wine. 1 lemon, and I am using ground saffron because I find it works out being much cheaper than actually using the actual bit of the crocus plant, which is hand harvested at a certain time of year. If you wanted to use the flower or whatever it is of the crocus plant, you'll easily pay £10 a gram for saffron, but because it's ground down, it does work out to be a lot cheaper. I'll put the link to this particular type of saffron down in the link in the description below. So what's the first step of this wonderful mango and saffron wine, I hear you ask? Well, that is to prepare the sugar. For this recipe, we are using 1.3 kilograms of normal granulated sugar. I have tried this recipe using brown sugar, but I find that the nuttiness overpowers the sweetness of the mangoes and also the delicate, subtle flavours of the divine saffron. Now, I am making this wine recipe inside a big fermenter. So grab yourself your big, clean, sanitised, sterilised fermenter and pour in your 1.3 kilograms of your granulated sugar. I would always advocate against using brewing sugar for home wine making because the sugar does impart a certain amount of sweetness to the wine and flavour. Brewing sugar tends to lack those essential flavours for the wine. And also, brewing sugar is more expensive than normal granulated sugar. And with homebrew, you want to try to keep the cost down as cheap as you can. That's one of the beauties of home winemaking. So shove all of your sugar, your 1.3 kilograms, into your bucket. With your 1.3 kilograms of sugar dissolved in your fermentation bucket, set it aside, and now's the time to start working on your fruit and flavour for the homebrew wine. I'm using 2 mangoes because I have found that 2 mangoes provides a lovely, light, refreshing summer's drink. If you wanted to add a 3rd mango, your mango and saffron wine will turn out to be lovely, heavy-bodied, rich, empowering, and overly divine. It's your choice, it depends how you want to make your wine, but I'm going for 2 mangoes because I know that works really well for summer. So, start removing the flesh from the skin and from the stone of your mangoes. Brilliant stuff. Right then, onto it. Once you have defleshed your mangoes, you want to throw them straight into your fermentation bucket along with the dissolved sugar. And then, start chopping your bananas. Not only do the bananas add a great deal of back flavour to the wine, but they also add a good deal of body and vinosity to the wine, making sure your wine has a good mouthfeel to it. Any size chunkers will do. And add your bananas to the fermentation bucket, along with the mango and the sugar. Then cut a lemon in half and squeeze in the juice of both chunks. And throw the actual rinds in there as well. Let them do some of the work as well. Let them ferment along with the banana and the mango. And now, the fun part is the saffron. I love saffron. I try to use it as much as I can in cooking. It's one of those brilliant, fantastic spices that I just absolutely love. And I don't know why I don't use it more in wine. I should do. There is something about the aroma of saffron that just, brilliant. So I'm putting in 2 teaspoons of saffron. A little saffron goes a long way. You don't need to overpower the mango because it is a mango and saffron wine. 2 teaspoons, brilliant. You will It will be there in the flavour and the high notes. It will complement the mango really well. So 2 teaspoons straight in. And then give it a really good stir. Get all those flavours mixed up. Get that saffron coating. Get that saffron and sugar solution coating all of your fruits. And now you want to pitch in your yeast. I'm using a yeast starter made with a dessert wine. I always find that a dessert wine works really well with mango. It brings out that puddingy, rich, tropical fruit flavour. So pour in your yeast. Whichever type of yeast you choose is fine. You can go for a general purpose, go for a high alcohol. It depends on your own personal preference and what you have at hand. So pour in your yeast. Now we just need to top up to just above the 1 gallon mark with cold water. And already the aroma coming off of the mango and the saffron just makes me think of Indian yogurts and Caribbean tropical lifestyles. This wine is superb in summer. Spring, summer, barbecues. This wine is the one you're going to want to grab. Nicely chilled, it's refreshing, it is light, it is a great party wine, getting that mood for a barbecue and a spit roast. You will love this wine, I guarantee it. And now all we need to do is whack on the lid, shove in an airlock into the bung and let it stand in a warm place for 4 or 5 days. And then I'll be back with you and we'll take this recipe to the next level. Brilliant. Back in a moment. Hello, welcome back. The mango and saffron wine has been sat for the past 4 days, infusing and fermenting and becoming brilliantly aromatic and colourful and bright for that lovely orange mango and saffron colour. It is becoming sublime. Everything about this wine screams out barbecues and beach parties and family get-togethers in the sun and that tropical sense of summer when it eventually comes. This wine, about 12%, ideal for those barbecues and summer parties. And the next step is to extract all of the pulp, all the mango, banana, lemon rinds that are in there and put them aside, ready for the compost heap, just so that we're left with that divine wine that we're after. So grab a colander, start scooping and put all the pulp into a saucepan or anywhere you want to put it, on the floor, wherever. Just put it away, you don't need it anymore. Once you've extracted all the larger chunks of pulp, you're ready to transfer it into your clean, sanitised demijohn. But for this, I'm going to pass my liquid through a funnel or a bottle with a lady's or man's Pop-Tarts stocking tight thing. This will just catch all the rest of the debris, all the rest of the pulpy bits and prevent it going into the demijohn. This will help later on when you come to rack the wine. There won't be so much sediment for you to remove the liquid from. It's just slightly easier for you long term down the track. Whilst you're doing this, it does not really matter if you get a lot of air into the wine. The yeast at this stage actually benefit from a high oxygen environment, but later on you want to try to reduce the amount of air because that's when the yeast will work hardest, when there's limited air. But at this point you want them to grow and expand and multiply, and they need oxygen to do that. So later on with your wines, try to reduce the amount of activity you do with them to prevent air going in. But at this stage it's perfectly fine, so don't worry if you make a big splash. I have to admit, I made a complete and utter mess with pouring that in. I always do, it always goes everywhere. But now I'm covered in this mango sweet, rich, orangey perfection, and I love it. One of the beauties of homebrew is you can make a mess and tidy up later. What we need to do now is insert a clean airlock and bung into your demijohn. And set this aside until it finishes fermenting. Now this will cast down quite a bit of sediment and pulp to the bottom. So once it does, rack it off, remove the liquid from on top of the lees and transfer it into another clean demijohn and top up with either more mango juice or water or whatever your preference is. Then set it aside and leave it for about 6 months or so. Then bottle and set it aside again until your next barbecue or beach party or picnic or any outdoor event. And if you bring this wine out at one of those events, you'll be one of the gods or goddesses. You'll be up there, but you'll be the one carting around this beautiful mango and saffron wine that everyone will want a drop of. It is nectar, it is brilliant, it is beautiful. Definitely make it, it's well worth it. And another summer wine that you should really make is melon wine. That is perfect for outdoor events. So check out this recipe up by here and learn how to make the perfect summer melon wine recipe. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, give me a like down below, and I'll see you really soon for the next weird, wonderful, beautiful, divine, bizarre, delinquent wine recipe. And you have a good day now. See you soon.